YouTube fam, it's your girl Leah back again with another video. In today's video, as you can see from the title, it's another CNBC Make It Millennial Money Reaction video. Now, if you guys aren't familiar, CNBC, the YouTube channel, has a series on their channel. They have several series, the Unlock series, the Millennial Money series. The Millennial Money series, though, is the one I gravitate towards. It's the one I love because I am a millennial and I would love to save, spend effectively my money. So this series highlights people as they spend and utilize and save their own funds. Now, I did a reaction video to a CNBC Make It video about a month ago, and I got a lot of you guys loving that video and saying do more. Yes, we want to see more of that. But the thing about it is they only release them like maybe once every 2 weeks, maybe once every 3 weeks. They're very fugazi with the way they upload their videos on the CNBC Make It channel. But this past week they uploaded a new one, so I was ready. I was like, yes, the people have asked and I am going to deliver. Now, the thing about this series is they do different salaries. They don't just keep it at millionaires. They don't keep it at six-figure folk. They can range, I've seen, from like the 20,000s all the way up to the millionaire status. So I do love that they show you different people living different lives, making different amount of money, living in different cities. So the last video I did, you guys know we showcased Destiny, a single black woman out here, single in the sense that, I mean, she might have been in a relationship, but she was unmarried, making $158,000 in Michigan. If you did not see that video, click up above. But this week's video is a little bit different. Today's title says living on $83,000 a year in Hilo, Hawaii. And in the thumbnail photo, it looks to be a man, a wife, or maybe a man, a girlfriend, we'll see when we click on it, and then 2 children. So this is like a family, it appears, living on $83,000 a year. So this video should be very interesting. It is 8 minutes and 28 seconds. Like I said in my last video, I am nobody's financial advisor. I'm a girl who's just trying to get her finances in order, and these videos help me out. So I'm not like going in on people, because who am I to go in on people? I just observe, I comment on it, and we react together. We see if we align on some of these reactions. So without further ado, let's get this video started. I'm watching it on my iPad, so that is how I am seeing it. And yeah, let's just get into it.
My name is Shayla Marie Mae. I'm 28 years old.
I'm Matthew Pi'ianaya Ishii. I am 33 years old.
Together we have 2 daughters, Sienna Belle and Sierra Jane.
Together we make about $83,000 a year.
We live on the Big Island of Hawaii in Hilo.
So Shayla works for a federally funded child care subsidy program. So that's her job. She is the 28-year-old, like they said, 33-year-old for the husband. I know one thing about Hawaii, just from friends who visited. I unfortunately have never visited. I want to, post-pandemic, putting it on the list. But what I found out from the friends that I've had who travel there, the cost of products is a lot more there than it is here in the States. I mean, they are part of the United States, but they've always said, like, if you buy a Coke there, for us, maybe a Coke here is like $1. There it's like $2.50 because their export is so high. They always told me that food costs a lot more, and I wonder if it's maybe because they visit tourist destinations that it's already jacked up. But it'll be interesting when they actually outline how much they spend on grocery and food and all that, how high that is relative.
I started a new job about a week ago. I'm making $16 an hour, $33,000 a year. I understand how hard it is to pay for childcare. If I wasn't working, we wouldn't be able to pay for childcare. I would be a stay-at-home mom forever. You really have to be working 2 jobs in a household to send your children to school.
As a concrete foreman, I earn about $25 an hour. It could go up to about $80 an hour.
So combined salary between the two of them is $83,000. Childcare is a beast. So that's why a lot of times people have to make the decision whether, the job is even worth it in comparison to the price of what they could pay for childcare. I did not know it was so expensive until I had a friend who had a baby. I only have like one close friend who actually has a child. You would think we would all, but I already talked about how trash dating is. You know how I feel about that. But I have one friend who does have a child, and it's like thousands. Her mom was able to watch for a few years. I think she eventually put them into childcare, but she actually had that family to lean on, retired parent, all that was great to have. But then of course at some point you want them to interact with other kids, and then you got to send them to the daycare, and we talking thousands. We're not talking just a little bit of here, a little bit of there. If you want them to have adequate childcare, honey, you got to pay some coinage.
As of right now, the way that we live paycheck to paycheck, it's hard to make it by. We make enough to cover our expenses and our bills and essentials.
So let's take a look at their breakdown. Like I did with Destiny, I'm going to take a look at their breakdown. So their monthly budget is $4,392. That's how much they spend each month. Now, their rent, $1,250. I don't think they've gone into what kind of place they have, like if it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, but for Hawaii, $1,250. I pay roughly roughly the same when you add water in and everything. Roughly the same here for 2-bedroom, 1-bath in Charlotte, North Carolina. So Hawaii, I don't know if that's good or bad. Do I have Hawaiians out there? It doesn't sound bad, but I was told in one of my videos breaking down Charlotte that that's crazy. But again, people living in different states, their rent is always all over the place. So, you can't judge a New Yorker by middle of Kansas, by Wisconsin, by Hawaii. Child support, $700. They haven't talked about that. I guess that's sending out. If that's their budget, I guess they have to pay, I'm assuming, somebody. There's no asterisk beside it either, but we're probably going to get into that somewhere in the video. But they have to pay $700 in child support out of their monthly budget. And it looks like it says Shayla and Matthew, so this is their combined. This isn't just one of them, which as a husband and wife, you typically, if you're paying out child support, you want to come together, help your spouse pay for said thing. Transportation is $659. They do have an asterisk beside that, and that is their car, gas, and car insurance. For 2 people, that it might not be that bad. I had to think about it. For a minute, I was like, oh, that one person, that's a lot. But 2 people, it might be all right. For food, we have $600. That's actually really good for a family of 4, $600. Now, we know in Destiny's video, Destiny loves to eat out, but she was at $900. She will feed one person, but she, like me, we get the DoorDash bug in us, and it gets us going. So, food, $600, amazing to feed a family of 4 for a y'all's friends just have to make a statement during the video, don't she? She just can't be quiet. She got to make a little barkity bark noise. Now, next we have utilities, $303. They went down to the 3. They went $303. Not bad. Phones, $299. Not bad. I was about to say, I wonder if the kids have phones, but no, they're too young. Or do they? How young do they start these days? I don't know. I didn't get my first phone till I was 15, 16 years old, but child, I grew up in a different era. Discretionary, $210, and they have an asterisk beside that, and that is for personal care, household expenses, and dog food. Oh, they have a dog. Winnie, they got a U in there too. My goodness. Yeah, I can attest to that. Dog food. Winnie's actually been good. She's still in her puppy food with the big bag, so we don't go too crazy with the dog food at this point, but that sounds about right for discretionary. Again, I think Destiny's discretionary, I hate to compare it to it. It was very high in her video. It was like $1,200 a month, but again, that's relative to, her situation, where she lived, and, not having a child, not having those kind of responsibilities. It can definitely change from person to person. That's the thing I love about this series, is that they highlight different incomes and all that. So health insurance, $191. That is for couple, twins covered under Medicaid. That's awesome. Credit card debt, $101. That's not bad. And subscription, $79. That is Amazon Prime and streaming services. So I don't see anything frivolous on here. It's not like they're throwing their money at anything. It's not like, discretionary is $210 a month, which is not bad at all. But let's continue on.
We don't make enough to move forward. We started dating in 2012. And as of 2017, we had our 2 girls, Sienna and Sierra. Being pregnant came as a shock. I had a 50-50 chance of ever getting pregnant, so we stopped trying, and we ended up finding out that we were pregnant. A week later, we found out that we were having twins. And it came as a very big shock financially. Sending the twins to school is about $1,400 a month.
$1,400 a month. Do I really want to have kids? Yes, I do. I do want to have kids. Oh my God. 1,400. Like, you guys see me do my videos. I do my videos once a month on my debt payoff journey, my financial journey. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to like just do YouTube for the rest of my life just to pay for their daycare. YouTube money will just eventually be, you know, their money for that. Mama, if you're watching this, can you just retire and watch my kids for the future? That would be great. Thank you. That'd be great. Awesome.
It's $700 per child at the preschool that they are attending, and we do not pay this out of pocket. It was a blessing that we were able to get funding.
Okay, so now it makes sense because there was not accounted for in their budget. Now that I think about it, they didn't account for that in their budget.
I have $2,300 in credit card debt. The credit card debt came from being able to pay extra expenses if we didn't have the finances to cover our monthly bills. Matthew and I are engaged, but because of his prior relationship, he does have children with his previous relationship, and he has back child support. So because of this, we're not getting married, because once we get married, we become one person, and I will start paying his child support as well.
Oh, okay. So now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. That, and I hate to say, because they seem so, look at this screenshot like that I'm putting up right now, and to see the comparison between like Destiny was talking about some harsh things. She was talking about her dad being shot and murdered, and she still had like a positive attitude, like she had a positive outlook. It's so ironic because I was talking to a candidate on the phone yesterday. I work in recruiting, and she said casually talking about her like mom passing when she was very young, and she still had like a bubbly personality through the phone, and it was all had extra all the questions, and then she hit me with that, and it's like, oh my God, I feel, so sad. But it's like she's still having such an optimist personality about her talking about tough things. I think in Destiny's video, she just kind of effortlessly, you guys remember when she said, yeah, my dad was shot, blah, 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 and then she kept going, and it was like, it has been so long ago. It's been probably 20 years, so she's dealt with it. But these people, like the sadness, look at the guy's face. It's so sad, and they're talking about just money. It shows you how like money, paycheck to paycheck, can kind of affect your personality. So I can feel some of the defeat in their voice as they're talking, their posture as they're sitting, the way they're just looking off. They haven't really smiled that much through this video, and it's really sad. You kind of want them to feel financial freedom. I want them to get married. I want them to be able to get married without having that toughness that comes with becoming one, and then their money becomes one money and her money becomes the money to pay for that. It's just getting sadder and sadder. It says because of a court order, he does not see his children in person, so he's paying hundreds a month for children in Washington that he cannot see. Like I tell you, CNBC doesn't just keep it cheerful, happy times. They show you every single thing. And I found out Destiny made a reaction to her reaction video, or a reaction to her actual Millennial Money video, and she walked through the process of how they chose her and how everything synced up. So it was months ago. She reached out to them. So I don't know if it's the same for these people. Like they reached out to Millennial Money themselves and said, hey, we want to be featured. We want to showcase our story, or whatever the case may be. But that kind of explains his posture, his sadness, his tone.
Something comes.
So it says they save between $0 and $1,500 a month. I wonder in what months those are. Like, is his concrete work so up and down? Like, is there overtime? Because in their monthly budget, it didn't seem like they had a lot of wiggle room to save $1,500 a month. But they're probably gonna get to it. I'm jumping the gun again. Leah, just watch the video, girl.
The car needs to be fixed or tires need to be replaced. Then that comes right out of the savings again. The last time I looked, it was about $700 is in my account right now.
So I do have a savings account that we try to put money into. It's not a set amount that we try to save every week or every month. but when we do get some extra income, I try to save it. The amount that we have in my savings account right now is $20. I am an only child, but as we were growing up, my parents took in my mother's siblings' children. We fostered them up until they were all around the teenage age and were able to go back to their parents. We didn't have a lot of money to do other things like leave the island or vacation. Most of the families here go to Kona on the other side of the island. They have a weekend vacation, they have a staycation, or they go to Disneyland. But we just didn't have the funds to do that. With having that experience as my childhood, I try to give my children everything that I didn't have. We were hoping to own a home by now, but because of the way that we live and how much we make, we made too much for self-help housing, which is a housing program that helps Native Hawaiians. And we made too much for the household income for that, and we made too little for a home loan.
Some other states that I've been looking around at just to compare prices, they're way cheaper for something that's not even comparable.
And that's why so many people from Hawaii are moving out of state. So we made a goal for the next 5 years to save money and try to move out of state. It's not all sandy beaches and coconuts.
So that was a different type of video than I thought. Typically Millennial Money, and I can say CNBC typically always has, you know, again, the millionaires, the happy cherries, the six figures. This was actually a very much so realistic look at what a majority of millennials, the world actually looks like. It's not all peaches, rainbows, butterflies, and kittens. And I think it's shocking. I'm shocked because CNBC hardly ever does this, like with a whole family. It actually captures it. Like there were moments in this video where they did play that upbeat tempo music, but the somberness still came through with it. I hope like these little girls have such awesome parents that they're trying to do better for them. Again, like she mentioned, it's not all peaches and rainbows over here. I think we see the glim and the lights and the stuff of Hawaii. And like I said, my friends go there and say, you know, it's expensive, more expensive, but okay, they're on vacation. They're willing, they knew they were going to shell out this much money. But for natives there who are not on vacation, who live their day to day, they're being priced out of a lot of things. So you see it here in Charlotte. I've talked about it in my Charlotte video where people live here who've lived here for 30, 40 years are being priced out. Same thing's going to Hawaii. Hawaiians are being priced out of their neighborhood. I thank CNBC for showing more realisticness like this, and I hope they continue to show the ups and the downs of everybody that they choose going forward, so I can have more of well-versed reactions for you guys. But again, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Even if you didn't, still give it a big thumbs up. We want all the love and support over here on this channel. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel so you don't miss anything that we do over here. Make sure that you're following me on Instagram at LeahLevon89 so you can keep up with my shenanigans in real time. And I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
You don't know. Bad man.